The election of 1860, or Lincoln's election, was one of the most important elections throughout United States history. However, before this fateful election, Abraham Lincoln had to climb his way through political ranks to become the President of the United States. Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in the rural side of Kentucky. As a child, he became intrigued with politics, although his first time involved with them was when he was 23 in 1832 when he ran for Illinois' House of Representatives. He ran as a Whig and unfortunately lost. 2 years later, he then was elected into state legislature and publicly announced his disdain for slavery. Then, in 1847, he was elected into the House of Representatives, where he proposed a bill to abolish the expansion of slavery, which was shot down in a second by the South, but it did open new ideas to Democrats and others in Congress. Finally, in 1858, he ran for the Senate as a Republican against Stephen A. Douglas and lost. However, he made a name for the Republican Party, allowing them to gather an even greater following when it came to the election of 1860.
The election of 1860 included three main parties that submitted candidates for president. One of these was the Constitutional Union Party. This party was against Lincoln's views and was made up of Democrats and Whigs. John Bell, a slave owner from Tennessee, was chosen as a candidate. The Democrats were another party who were split over the issue of slavery. Some supported it in the party while others did not. Stephen Douglas, who proposed the Kansas-Nebraska Act, was going to be their candidate, but he opposed slavery while many of the members of the party supported it, so they protested this and refused to select a candidate during the party's convention. Douglas was inevitably chosen as the candidate in the second meeting of the party. Although this was the Democratic nominee, the South chose their own nominee, John Breckinridge. Lincoln's party, the National Republicans, and had William Seward and Lincoln as candidates, with Lincoln becoming nominated. Lincoln ended up winning the election against Breckinridge, Douglas, and Bell because he gave extremely powerful speeches and had a history of political experience. Here is one of his most famous speeches.
In my opinion, it will not cease until a crisis shall have been reached and passed. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other. Either the opponents of slavery will arrest its further spread and place it where the public mind shall rest in the belief that it is on a course of ultimate extinction.
He used powerful speeches such as this one to unite the Republican Party together by remaining rather neutral in terms of slavery, promising no slavery in the New West but no restrictions on slave states currently. Other parties were split on the issue and less unified, so Lincoln won the most support of the people and overpowered Breckinridge in the election of 1860.
This election caused the Civil War because Lincoln immediately took a position against slavery as a president. This caused South Carolina to vote for secession from the Union, which wouldn't have happened if another president won the election who was for slavery, like Breckinridge. Because of the threat of secession from South Carolina, Lincoln sent militia to Fort Sumter, a Charleston fort, leading to conflicts and shots being fired. Lincoln saw this and declared the Emancipation Proclamation, which directly caused the Civil War. Here is a reenactment of Lincoln's declaring the Emancipation Proclamation and therefore starting the Civil War.
That on the first day of January, in the year of our Lord 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free. What kind of villain you think the papers will make of me?
It won't be pretty.
I expect abuse from the Democrat papers, but the friendly ones, they'll see the wisdom.
I'm worried about enlistment. They'll say it's a war against slavery, not for the Union.